Well, this has probably got more than one fault, but it looks a decent TV, and I just want to save it from the landfill. Watcher and howdy, and I hope you're okay. What day is it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Somebody asked me that today and I've got no idea. It's Tuesday night as I do this recording. Okay, let's have a look at something which is not completely different, because we did a 43-inch Philips about 3 or 4 days ago. We did. Some people ask me sometimes, do I have an emotional connection to any of the TVs? No, I don't, because I'm repairing them, but customers do. And it's a very interesting question, because there are still some things, if I see, I think, oh, I'd like to have a look at that and just see. It's a bit like, and this goes for any YouTube repair agent, whether you're repairing sewing machines, fridge freezers, laptops, bikes, you name it. And mechanics in particular, I suppose, because, you know, mechanics love finding a fault and fixing it. Yet, does a mechanic want to own the latest and greatest car that's available, whatever that may be? And the answer is no. They just love working on cars, and their own car is probably just a sensible car that they just keep well maintained. Some people like the old sports cars, but what I'm getting at, just because you love doing something doesn't mean you want to buy the latest and greatest. So I'm not interested in going to a high street store or any online store, looking at the most expensive, biggest screen television and buying it, because I don't watch that much television. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't watch television per se. So it's ridiculous, isn't it, for me to go buying televisions with the amount of surplus TVs that I have? So the answer to that is no, there's no connection. But as I mentioned to and alluded to a few seconds ago, that sometimes I will have a look at a television and see a television or be offered a television, and I think, oh, do you know what? Yeah, you may be 15 years old, you may be knackered, but I'm just intrigued and I want to know. And that's exactly what we're looking at here. So if you remember, about 3 days ago, we had a look at this. Quite strange. 43 PFT 4001-05. Does that mean anything to you? I'll just pull it back a bit and we'll get it in focus. And all the problem was with that is quite simply it had a one duff backlight, so I just shorted it out and it came back to life, and I'm still using it now. You can possibly see that it's tucked away there. That is that Philips, and I've just put it there for the meantime. What I'm going to do with it in general, I don't know. But anyway, visiting the local environmental chuckaway yard, the tip, the dump, the recycling centre, call it what you will. Lo and behold, there's another Philips 43. And here it is. And I'll just show you the model number. 43-inch, same as the last one, but slightly different, as you can possibly tell. This one's got the more desirable LEDs down the side. This is the Ambilight. Just in case you don't know the way Ambilight works, if you've got a light wall that you're putting this TV on, or a light wall behind your TV stand, these bright LEDs will reflect the same colour of what's on screen. So if you're looking at a blue sky and a let's say green waters, a green sea, the top half of the LEDs will be blue and the second lot will be green. It just reflects that picture. And they say that to the naked eye, it makes a 43-inch television look like a 65-inch television, because you're seeing a bigger surface of colour around. Of course, your eyeballs ever only concentrate on usually the centre spot of a television. That's where you look. That's where the cameraman is always focusing his object to be. So around the edge and the surface, you're not really paying much attention to. So the idea that these colours light up and give you a bigger picture, does it work? I don't know if it does. Yeah, I suppose it does, but It's also a pretty little effect. Does that sound patronizing? Well done, Philips. You're a pretty little effect. But anyway, I picked this one up from the recycling centre only because it has got the Ambilight, and I've got no idea if this is in working order. In fact, the screen, I'll turn it around, looks pretty bad. And that doesn't mean it's thrown away because it's got a smashed screen. I'm not too sure about your recycling centre and the way that it works, but the recycling centre that I visit, and quite obvious reasons I suppose, they've got no respect for televisions, if that is not a silly word. They just get it thrown into a big skip. And so televisions that haven't got broken screens when they're taken to the recycling centre tend to be thrown in, and then they're all really tightly packed up against each other and on top of each other. And that's what causes them to crack sometimes. I'm saying that because I don't think this is cracked. And you know what? I really hope that this isn't cracked. Let me just lift the camera up a bit. So yeah, you can see the other 43 Philips that I use. Perfectly good picture, very nice. It's not 4K, it's only full HD. Actually, I think that is 4K. And it's not supposed to be 4K, but sometimes when they run out of panels and screens, they chuck what they can in. And I think that is a 4K resolution screen, and I'm going to do some testing on that to prove myself wrong in a couple of weeks' time. So this one, I don't think it is cracked. It's very dirty. It's got some scratches on here. No, that again is just a dust mark or a dirt mark, so don't wipe your fingers on it now. The reason I say I don't think it's a cracked screen, or at least I don't think it was thrown away because it was a cracked screen, and I didn't know this straight away. I only noticed it when I brought it into the workshop yesterday, and if I go very quiet for a second, and this surprised me for a Philips, just have a listen to this. And again, I would say just about every single lens has fallen off that. I promise you I've not plugged this in, so we're probably going to have the shortest video that I've made for a long time, because if it's got a cracked screen, there's nothing much I can do. I could contemplate taking the screen out of that, seeing if it's the same screen, but I doubt it very much, because there's something very I know it's the same size, but there's something very different. So I'm really hoping that this has not got a cracked screen. I'm really hoping that it was thrown away because it's going to have lots of white spots on the screen, because I might even, well, if it's not a damaged screen, we'll have a look at this tonight. We'll have a look at what backlights are in here. We'll have a look at the screen number, and we'll check it with a video of when I repaired that one. Just to see it is the same screen, but I doubt that very much. We'll get the clue to see if it's the same backlights first of all. And if none of the backlights are faulty, and the way to test I suppose is plug this in a second, just to see if we do get backlights coming on. But if none of the backlights are faulty, again, to me this is worth nothing. I wouldn't be able to sell it, wouldn't want to sell it. I don't know if it's a smart television. It may be. It may be a smart model, but anyway. It's got no real value, but it's just got one of those intriguing things about it. And I suddenly thought, you shouldn't be in the recycling centre, like I do for most televisions. But I've had to step back from that idea slightly. Some of the old full HD TVs, I'm looking at them thinking, oh, you know what, I could stick a new set of backlights in you, but I'm still only going to sell you for 20 quid, and the backlights are costing me 30, so it's time to walk away from those. But if I see something that's quite stylish, and I think Philips, more than any other TV design, well, not just their TVs, but their hi-fis, the way they built things, they were very clever designs. And I think Philips, for a time, did a lot of stuff for Bang & Olufsen. I remember repairing ages and ages ago a Bang & Olufsen stereo unit, and it was full of Philips parts. So there's a big connection between the design of Philips and Bang & Olufsen. How big, I'm not too sure. But anyway, let's stop this mystery and find out if this television has got a cracked screen or if the backlights are going to come on, because I promise you, as of yet, I have not tested it. I had a night off last night and went, I was going to say disco dancing, but when I say disco dancing, what I meant is I went out for a couple of beers and a meal, which was really nice. It was really nice. Anyway, don't damage your microphone. Let me just plug something into this. So yes, no emotional connection, but there's something about this TV, I want to make it as good as possible. So if that means ordering a new set of backlights, I will. But if they just want the lenses sticking on, well, I've got some glue. Why don't I spend tonight sticking some lenses on? Anyway, I'm plugging it in now, and I'm switching it on now. Please don't have a cracked screen. Nothing's coming on at the moment. I don't even see a light. Let me switch some lights off just in case there's a standby light somewhere. I don't see a standby light anywhere. Oh God, this could have 3 or 4 problems. Backlights, power supply. I have a Philips remote control in my hand. I'll switch some lights back on, standby. Philips remote control in my hand. Let me press the button and see what happens. It switched off the other Philips. Will it switch this one on? The answer is a disappointing no. Button on the side here. Let me just play with that. Nothing's coming on. So has this TV got a dodgy power supply and it's made them throw it away, and the guy's just thrown it away with such force that all the lenses have fallen off? Because it's not coming on. I'm just going to get a multimeter just to see if this lead is not chucking out the voltage we want it to chuck out. Oh, one thing that bugs me is these leads when they get ravelled up. I unravel them every time, and then at night the borrowers come in. Anyway, let's just test if we're going to get some voltage. Put it on AC really, shouldn't we? Yes. So the plot thickens. This has more than one issue. Okay, I've taken the screws out because I don't want this video to go on to be some sort of box set epic hour-long trilogy. Parts 1, Part 2 and Part 5, etc. But the first thing that comes to mind is that power supply is not looking, well, I can't see anything obvious, but ooh, it's looking a bit burnt. It's looking well used, shall we say. And a bit grubby, but that means nothing at the moment. Whether it's got the same screen as the one we did a couple of days ago, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it has. Just looking at the back of the chassis here, I don't think it has. So let me just give this a bit of a clean up, and let me give a once over just to see if I can see anything that's shorted on the board, which, you know, something I can do a quick fix on tonight, and obviously test the fuse. I just put the multimeter away and I've got to get it out again. Well, that's already looking tons better. just want to test the voltage in the caps to make sure I'm not going to die tonight. Well, there's still 58 volts in there. So, one thing these boards did suffer with was a shorted diode, and it is a Schottky type diode. Well, it is a Schottky diode. It's an SMD type, but it's on to the side of board, so I'll risk it for 60 volts, even though I've got my little light bulb here and I could disperse that 60 volts, but I'll risk it for the moment. And I think that used to be the offender, the diode there. There's a couple more there, but let's just see. I don't know if you can see the multimeter. Oh, would you look at that? Let me get my specs on. I'm guessing it's going to be a 5 amp, 100 volts. I can't see. I don't care. I'm going to stick a 5 amp 100 volts in, and we'll see what happens. I have got some proper SMD diodes to exactly fit this, but they're not here. They're in my other workshop, but it doesn't matter. Seems like they've put a bit of glue on as well. There we go. It's off. It's off. Let's just test it now it's out of circuit. No longer shorted, but the diode shorted. I have got bags and bags and bags of the old Schottky type diode, and I'm just going to stick that above there for now, just to well, I'll say it because she'll say it in the comments. That was a botch. Yes, but don't forget, I still don't know at this stage what condition the screen is in. The screen could be absolutely, and I don't want to waste a 3p diode. Put a bit of tin on the legs. Put a lot of tin on the legs. I'm sure at one point, if that's not going to blow again, but these type of diodes, they don't need a reason to blow apart from just getting old and tired, like the rest of us. That's going to be covered. There's a covering on the back here, so I'm not worried about it shorting out. Let's put the screws back in. So this could have been the reason the TV was thrown away. I am, if I haven't mentioned it before, a bit suspicious and very surprised about the fact that those lenses have fallen off. I've dropped a screw. Can I find it in time? In time for what? Yes, got it. Yes, she's in tonight, but she won't settle. I'm trying to get her to settle on the cushion. But she's not settled. Or maybe she is now. I've got that one in wrong, haven't I? Is it that one I've got in wrong? No. Is it that one I've got in wrong? No. I've put a long screw where it shouldn't be. It must be here. Yes. Here we go. So let's plug this in, see what goes pop, see what condition the screen is in. If we do, yeah, the backlights could still be knackered. Stop hogging the camera, Misty. You look like you're in the dark there, actually, Misty. Right. Right, switch on, see if we hear a bang. 3, 2, 1. No bang. Do we see a picture? Well, I see a standby light flashing. Oh, and there we go, we've got the Philips logo. Doesn't seem to be a cracked screen, does it? I'll just... But we can see every single... Oh, it's an Android TV, so it's going to be a smart TV. Does it look like there's 5 backlights? 1, 2, 3. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it could be 5. So it could have the same backlights as the other one. But for now, as long as there's none gone, does that make sense? None gone. We can just glue them on because we're getting a picture. And that's all we need for now. And I thought it will make it a bit more interesting for you. How long's this blooming video gone on so far? It's always going on a long time. Always. Okay, I will do a part 2 because I don't want the videos to go on too long. But the part 2 will go up, I promise, within a couple of hours. Wi-Fi is not connected. No, light's coming back on, sorry. So we've got that working. I will... edit this part together, send it up while I disconnect the screen, and then we'll have a look at the backlights together. I just don't... It's... If you're a Philips fan, and I know there are Philips fans, you may leave some negative comments, and I'm sorry, but I just don't want videos. A lot of my videos recently have been 40-50 minutes, and you know, the average time of a video should be about 10-15 minutes. Maybe you disagree, but I'm going to send part 1 up now, and then I'll make part 2, and it will follow it within a couple of hours. Which might, I know that means you're probably not going to see it till the next day, but I will send it up, I promise. So, end of part 1.